Hoping we're live. How are you? You're all very welcome again to Clonmel Library. And you know it's a library because look at all the books outside. That's how you know we're a library. Right. Now, what am I to do? I have to do the housework first. Yes. So I have to mention be a summer star and log on to www.summerstars.ie and you get loads of things and interesting stuff on there. Okay? Now, what else do I need to tell you about? Oh yes, that's part of Summer Stars. And I was nearly killed because I didn't show you this yesterday. So can you all see this now? Right. This is part of what we're doing in Clonmel Library. As part of Summer Stars. So you have to redesign your favourite book cover. Pick your book, your favourite book in the whole world, and look at the cover and think, oh, I don't like that cover anymore. And draw a new cover. Put your name and your age on it, and we'll put it up here in the window. And then people can see the cover that you did, and it'll be a really good one, of course it will. Now, we'll be doing a bit of a story, we will. Now, you remember yesterday, because this is a continuation from what we were doing yesterday, we were reading from Roddy Doyle's The Giggler Treatment. And you remember the story, of course you do, because it's a great story. There was Mr. Mac going to his job in the biscuit factory when he was about to step in dog. Oh look, I said it 100 times yesterday, so I can say it again. We're not on RTE. I can say poo. He was going to step in the dog poo. But this is not just an ordinary person going to work and stepping in dog poo. No. The story told us that somebody put the dog poo there. And can you remember who this was? There was 3 of them behind the wall. They're small, they're about the size of babies. They can change their colours. They're the gigglers. So they were all giggling and waiting for Mr. Mac to step in the poo. And then we discovered that they do this to lots of people. If they're not nice to children, that's what they do. So that's the story up to now, right? So now we're going on to chapter 7. Chapter 7. The gigglers waited. The shoe was now exactly 12 inches and a little bit from the you-know-who. Any second now, whispered the biggest giggler. They waited for the top, Mr. Mac hopping on one foot, trying not to fall over. They waited for the little thump, Mr. Mac leaning against the wall, only 3 inches of brick and cement away from the gigglers' noses. The biggest giggler looked over the wall and ducked back down again. 10 inches, she said. The middle-sized giggler crammed her other hand and one of her feet into her mouth to stop the giggles from escaping, because then Mr. Mac would know. She fell off the bike, but she made no noise because she landed on soft, long grass. Get off me, said the grass. No, it didn't. I'm only messing. But the time has come to explain why the gigglers were doing this to Mr. Mac. Because it's not a nice thing, is it? No, it's not. Chapter 8. The day before Mr. Mac's foot headed straight for the poo, just before it got too dark to play outside, the Mac brothers, these are Mr. Mac's children, Jimmy and Robbie, broke the kitchen window. Tut tut, bold boys, don't break the kitchen window. They were playing football with a burst ball when it happened. Robbie Mac gave the ball a whack with his big toe. It bounced off Jimmy Mac's head, flew out the window and cracked the glass. Oh, if that happened to all of you, yeah, it's not a good one, is it? Ouch, said Robbie, me toe. Ouch, said Jimmy, me head. Wah, said Mr. Mac, me window. Because he's not happy to have to replace the window. He was upstairs when he heard the noise. He was in the bathroom, putting a plaster on his finger. He cut his finger putting new glass into the kitchen window, just 5 minutes before the ball cracked it again. He ran downstairs into the kitchen and saw the broken window. So he kept running out into the garden. Who did that? He shouted. Not us. The ball did it, said Robbie. I only just fixed it, said Mr. Mac. It's not fair. Mr. Mac had a very hard day. That's 7 times I've had to fix that window in 7 days. Oh, he's really angry now. He looked at Robbie and Jimmy. Boys, 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 how many times am I going to have to fix it? 8, said Robbie. Ooh, that's a bit cheeky. Robbie wasn't being smart or cheeky when he said that. He was giving Mr. Mac the correct answer. The window had been broken 7 times, and now he was going to have to fix it once more. 7 and 1 made 8. So Robbie was right. But poor Mr. Mac had had a very hard day. He had spent all day testing cream crackers, and they were very boring biscuits. In fact, Mr. Mac didn't think that they were really biscuits at all. They were always perfectly, boringly square, and they tasted like nothing except what they were, boring old cream crackers. And poor Mr. Mac had been measuring and eating them all day. He knew he'd dream about cream crackers tonight. He always had the same cream cracker dream after a day of measuring and eating cream crackers. Now, it wasn't a dream about killer ninja cream crackers or beautiful brown-eyed cream crackers or anything interesting like that. No chance. In this dream, Mr. Mac was always surrounded by talking cream crackers, hundreds of them, all saying the most boring things ever. Babies are smaller than adults. Isn't that interesting? Toilet paper is usually white, but not always. Isn't that interesting? A car has 4 wheels, but a bike has only 2. Isn't that interesting? All night, the talking cream crackers would be yapping at him. That was another reason why Mr. Mac loved fig rolls. They never talked to him in his sleep. He wasn't looking forward to bedtime, even though he was very tired. He could already hear the cream crackers mumbling away in his brain. Some pajamas have stripes and some don't have any stripes at all. Isn't that interesting? But that wasn't the worst part of the day. Something strange had happened to Mr. Mac at lunchtime. A vulture had swooped down from a tree and robbed his sandwiches. And before he had time to get over the shock, the vulture came back and robbed his flask. Then he'd had to fix the broken window in the kitchen for 7 times 7 days, and he'd cut his finger doing it. He was hungry and tired, and his finger was sore, and the cream crackers were already yapping at him. If you put your feet in water, they get wet. Isn't that interesting? The vulture had stuck his tongue out at him as he flew away with the flask. The flask had been full of chicken soup, Mr. Mac's all-time favourite. And now he thought his children had been cheeky. Mr. Mac had had enough. Oh, he's very cross now. Go up to your room immediately, he told Jimmy and Robbie. But I'm hungry, said Jimmy. I don't care, said Mr. Mac. Go up to your room. And that was why, the next morning, the poo was waiting for Mr. Mac. What Mr. Mac didn't know was that the Gigglers were listening to him. They were in the cupboard under the stairs, and they looked at one another and nodded. The treatment, said the smallest very quietly. The treatment, said the biggest. Pooh, said the smallest. Pooh, said the biggest. And you know what? There we're going to stop it. And you're all kind of saying, oh, that's not fair, we don't find out what's going on in the end of the story. And of course you're not going to find out what goes on in the end of the story. Because look, there's loads of it left. The whole summer's worth, well, part of the summer. Maybe a week, maybe a night. It depends on how fast you read. So, how are you going to find the end of the story? You know what I'm going to say next, don't you? You're going to come into the library. You're going to walk up to one of the nice librarians and said, I heard story time, I want you to get me a copy of Roddy Doyle's The Giggler Treatment. And you know what? If you come into Clonmel Library, or your local library, whatever it is, we're open Monday to Friday, 10 to 1, 2 to 5. If you come in during those times, we'll get the book for you. Or whatever your local public library is, they'll do the same thing. All right? So thanks very much. And what did I say to you? We'll see you again. Yeah, well, we'll see you online again, which is nearly, it's good enough for the moment. Okay. And then sometime we'll see you in real life. Okay? Talk to you. Bye.